Welcome to another tutorial. I'm going to continue project 4 starting on page 166, and in this tutorial I'm planning on going up to page 172. So on the top of page 166 it tells us that we're going to define a selector with an ID element. If you remember, an ID element is attached to a tag, and you can only have the one ID on a page. So you could not have an ID of Joe more than one time. Just the example we gave you was on a street, you can only have a house with just one number. So we have design view open. They want us to be in live, which we are. And we're going to click the div button on the HTML insert panel. So we'll click on the insert panel and we're going to click on div. And what we're going to do is we want to put this between the two existing tags. One is the header, one is the footer. So what we need to do is go up here, and we should see it between the two now. And that looks good. To be on the safe side, you can just go into source code, and you can see that you have the header, then you have the div, and then you have the footer. So we're going to click on this here, and it tells us to click on the plus button over here, and then it brings up the class ID element over here. So for the class ID, we're going to type in the number sign. That tells us it's an ID, and then page content. So we're going to just type in, and I'm going to make a mistake on this on purpose. And I think I'll make it content 2. Then I'm going to undo it and show you exactly how to fix it. So we have over here, we have in here, we can create a media query. We can click over here. Okay, so we're done. So now we have this tag over here that says page content 2. However, we don't want page content 2. We want it to be page content. So all you have to do is click in there and delete that. So now we have that back to page content over there. And it's really fairly easy. Now it's still selected over here. So that was number 4. Number 5 is make sure the CSS museum styles is selected when resulting. Select the source menu over here, and we're going to boom over here, which we did that already. So in the CS Designer panel, so let's go into the CS Designer panel, and notice it added the page content for us, and that's because we did it in live view. That's one of the advantages of doing things in live view. Again, I'm okay with doing it whatever way you feel the most comfortable in there. Most of the time, I work in design view. I just like me doing the things, but that's just me. I'm old-fashioned. So number 6 is we're going to select a new page content. In the properties manual, we want to make sure show set is not set, which it is not. We're going to click the layout, and we're going to make the width 950. So here's layout, and width is 950. That takes care of the width. Then we're going to do margins. Top and bottom are 0, and left and right are auto. So you know how to do it. So let me just show you a little cheating way of doing it. So we have margin over here, left and right and auto. We can just copy this down here and paste it. Again, another way of doing it is click back over here, and notice it did that for us automatically. Not saying you have to do it that way. I just wanted to show you since we already did it the other way once. That takes care of that. In there, number 10. Number 11 at the top of the property sections, we're going to do the border, and we're going to make a nice border. So here we have border over here, and it tells us we only want to do the top. So this is all borders. This is top. The width is 8, which is fairly thick. So we need PX and 8. Then the style will be solid. And it puts in whatever color it feels like. And then it tells us for the color we want 54210F. Sure you all know what that is. So let's go to hex here. And do not delete the number sign. So you want 54210, and I'm going to use a capital F just because I think it looks nicer. And it just changed the color a little bit to a little brown. So I'll go into the museum code, which is right here, and you can see it created one. Now this is a shortcut in here where it's defining the width, the type, and the color. And you can see the understanding, the shortcut right over here on page 169 over here. Now, what I suggest you do is have your CSS file in the order as much as possible as your page content. So if we look at our page content, we have header, then we have page content, then we have footer. Over here, we have header, then footer, then page content. So to make it set the same way, you can take this over here and drag it up here. That's not in the book, but that's free information. That's 169. On page 170, we're going to, number 2 tells us select the areas, and we're going to add a selector. So what we're actually going to do is add a nav selector. So I click here and just going to start typing N, and it brings up the first N it finds, which is nav. So you can hit the enter key, and now you have the nav created and absolutely nothing in it. In the properties, we're going to make the width 200, and we're going to put padding on all 4 sides. So here's the width. Now again, make sure you're on the nav. So let's go and click on width. And I believe it was 200. And then we want padding on all 4 sides of 10. So we need to make sure this gets clicked. And we'll just put 10. And that answer. So you can see it gives us padding 10. Notice it doesn't say padding top, padding. This is a shortcut for all of the paddings. That takes care of that. Now we're going to add the selector button, and we're going to type in main copy as the new selector. So I'll click up top here, and I'm going to put in the number sign, and I'm going to put in main copy. That will add main copy. And we're going to put width, height, padding, and margin. So the width is 500. The minimum height, which I'll explain in a minute, is going to be 200. So the minimum height just means your div tag, or whatever this is, has to be at least 200 pixels in. Actually, I guess I should have done the height. So let's cut this here. And we'll just paste it here. It doesn't mean it can't be bigger. It just means it has to be at least 200 pixels. So you'll see more of that in there. So we'll go back to the code. You can see that it has the min height, it has the width, and so on and so forth. That takes care of 170. And that's all we're going to do here. We're going to save everything. And again, we don't know where the main copy is going to be, but the nav should be underneath the header. Normally you have a header, the nav, and so let's go into our source code and let's see what our thing. So we have the header, page content over here, and we have not created a nav yet. So when we create one, we will move it over here. That's it for this tutorial. It's almost time for the Dodgers to even up the series. If you're a Houston fan, just remember they beat my Yankees. I would keep that to yourself, especially when it comes time to grading. Only kidding. I don't take that out on there, but if you are now rooting for the Dodgers, you are now my hero. So I hope a wonderful, wonderful day. And again, please let me know if you have any problems. Let me know, and I will do my best to take care of it.